Hey brother, welcome to my channel. I'm Kaljo, the homecoming son, and today we will get into the depths of why PUFAs are so bad for you and why you should avoid them. So it is my experience that the word is getting out there, right? Seed oils are bad for you. Seed oils are toxic. Get rid of seed oils. And so this becomes a cultural cliffhanger that we should avoid seed oils, right? But what is seed oils? Like, people that say that they avoid seed oil still take fish oil and omega-3 supplements, which just doesn't make sense. It's a complete contradiction. So let's dive into what seed oils are. And to understand what seed oils are, we must understand PUFA, right? Polyunsaturated fatty acids, because these are really the reason why seed oils are so damaging. So the ins and outs of PUFA, seed oils, all of this is what we will be getting into today. Look, I wish that we all take informed decisions about our health and well-being. This is truly the wisest way to attain optimal health and freedom in general, right? We quickly fall into cultish worship of certain slogans and ideas without really understanding why we have those slogans and why we believe in those ideas. And I believe that this makes us powerless, right? Because we don't actually know why we are making the decisions we are making. And it makes the culture toxic because the culture now is made up of people that just follow ideas blindly instead of thinking for themselves, and in that way further the positive development of the culture that they live within. But you are here today and you will leave this video with a great understanding of why PUFAs are so destructive to your health, so that you can step out of just being one of those uninformed people that just use the slogan of seed oils are toxic, and then stepping into taking the informed decisions of leaving out PUFAs. Not just seed oils, but PUFAs, because you know what they are doing to your physiology. So if you're with me and you like the content, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you get notified when new awesome content comes out, alright? Let's dive into it now. So first, we just briefly have to understand that vegetable oils, seed oils, and fish oils all are what we call polyunsaturated fats, right? In short, PUFAs. PUFAs. Now they are called polyunsaturated fats because the vast majority of the fatty acids that makes up the fat of, for example, vegetables, of seeds, and of fish are polyunsaturated fatty acids as opposed to monounsaturated fatty acids and saturated fatty acids. When a fatty acid is polyunsaturated, that means that 4 of the carbon atoms in the molecule of the fatty acid is missing hydrogen atoms attached to it, right? That creates 2 double bonds between the carbon atoms. These 2 double bonds between the carbon atoms in the fatty acid molecules create a very, very vulnerable and unstable molecular structure. So the more double bonds that you have between the carbon atoms in the fatty acid molecule, the more unstable the structure of the fat is, right? That means that it more easily gets oxidized by, for example, temperature and pressure. Therefore, even cold pressing some of these seed oils will turn them rancid, right? Oxidize them. And now if that doesn't do it, well, then certainly the internal temperature of your body will oxidize these oils. There just is simply no way that these fatty acids will be healthy for your physiology. And now as we move on, I'll show you why. But you see, the polyunsaturated fatty acids are also what makes the oils liquid, right? So the more liquid an oil is, the more volatile it is. A good rule of thumb is that if it doesn't stay stable under room temperature, then don't consume it. Now, some oils such as avocado oil and olive oil will stay liquid in room temperature, but if you put them in the fridge, they will harden if it's a good quality oil. That means that they are rich in monounsaturated fatty acids, and I will use those oils because of their liquid properties in room temperature, topical, right? So on skin, it can be very hard to use stable oils on the skin, so there these liquid oils can have their place. That being said, their liquid properties comes from the polyunsaturated fatty acid content of these oils, so I wouldn't include them in my diet. Also remember, these are not vegetable oils, right? These are actually fruit oils. Avocado and olive is a stone fruit. So monounsaturated fatty acids are actually great for you, right? Actually, your body will turn excess sugar into monounsaturated fatty acids because because it's easier for the body to use monounsaturated fat for energy production than it is to use saturated fat, right? So an example of a monounsaturated fatty acid would be coconut oil. Coconut oil is great for consumption as well, and as you will see, it does stay hardened under room temperature because of its extremely low polyunsaturated fatty acid content and its extremely high monounsaturated fatty acids content. Of course, a monounsaturated fatty acid only has one, right, mono double bond on the carbon atoms in the carbon chain of the molecule. So finally, that leaves us with saturated fats, right? These should be the bulk, the main fats that you consume. And they are saturated, of course, because all of the carbon atoms in the molecule, in the carbon chain of the molecule, are saturated with hydrogen atoms, right? Again, that makes the fatty acid extremely stable under high heat and pressure. So these are the safest fats for you to consume. So here we have something such as butter and tallow, and also the nutrient quality, the nutrient profile of these fats are just sublime. So make butter and tallow the bulk of your fat consumption. We have also pig lard and something like dog fat. Unfortunately, most pigs, dogs, chickens are fed grains and soy in modern conventional farming and even organic farming, right? We still feed our dogs and chickens mostly grain because they're monogastric, these animals. They're not able to convert this excess PUFA that they get in their diet into monounsaturated or saturated fatty acids. So that leaves the fat from pigs and the fat from dogs, which is the main fat we would use for cooking. It leaves it largely polyunsaturated, right? So that's why I'm saying eat animal fats from ruminating animals, right? Because they're able to convert that PUFA that they might get in their diet into saturated fats that are beneficial for us as consumers. Alright, so far so good. Now I know that even after watching this video, many of you will be hell-bent on still consuming omega-3s and fish oil supplements, right? So I gotta give it my best shot to make you understand why these oils are still terrible for you and why they are not essential for brain development and actually are quite the opposite of what we have been told. So fish oil is extremely polyunsaturated, right? Because it contains high amounts of the omega-3 fatty acids, DHA namely. This fatty acid has 6 double bonds on the carbon chain, right? This makes it extremely vulnerable to oxidation from temperature and pressure, right? I know actually many companies that keeps these oils from seeing the light of day, right? They extract the oils underwater, leading them through dark tubes underwater until they go into the facility and never see the light of day. They get on dark bottles to keep them stable and keep them from going rancid and being oxidized. Now, what do you think happens when these oils make it into your body? That is 37 degrees Celsius. They get oxidized. So, okay, you get it. Omega-3 is the most volatile of the polyunsaturated fatty acids, but still you believe the propaganda, you believe that they are essential for your brain development and you want to include them in your diet, right? Now let me show you all the evidence that they are not essential for brain development and actually are quite the opposite. Because as you will see, the science supporting the statement that these are essential fatty acids, something that we need for optimal and healthy brain development, is at best faulty. And in all honesty, just pure propaganda, right? The studies completely dismiss the evidence showing otherwise, and they don't even seek to make up for the missing evidence. It's like they willingly turn a blind eye, and I'm sorry to say it, but that's not science, that's propaganda. So the claim that omega-3 is an essential fatty acid and essential and important for healthy brain development was made on the vague discovery that these fatty acids were low in the brain tissue of newborns compared to that of the adults. Now, the researchers took this as a fact that it would be a great idea to supplement these essential fatty acids to pregnant mothers and newborns to help their brain development. Now, this of course is an extremely rushed conclusion first of all, and further research has completely dismantled this theory, right? We have seen that pregnant mothers supplementing with these essential fatty acids actually has the opposite effect, retarding the brain development of the newborns, right? We have measured that the brain size compared to body size is much lower in newborns that are supplementing with these EFAs, essential fatty acids, compared to babies that have been on a low PUFA, low essential fatty acid diet. Now, small brain size compared to body size is a clear indicator of a retarded brain development and low intelligence. We also now understand why these fatty acids content was so high in the adults compared to the newborns. And that's because these fatty acids are so toxic for energy metabolism that the body rather stores the fatty acids than burning them off in energy metabolism, making these fatty acids accumulate over time in the tissue. And now also the content of these fatty acids accumulate with stress and aging. So it's no wonder that we see increased amounts of these fatty acids in adults than in newborns. There has also been demonstrated a clear relationship between the content of these EFAs, essential fatty acids, in the breast milk of the mother and the allergies that comes in the child. Why this is becomes very understandable as we look into the physiological effects of the PUFAs within the body. This is something we will look more into in the next video. So now you might be asking yourself, why then has this research been conducted in the first place? What is to blame for these propaganda pieces? Well, you see, back in the 1970s, when these oils first were promoted as being heart healthy and essential for brain development, the waste from the industrial fish industries had become so vast that governmental agencies were starting to mandate the industries to get rid of all these waste products like skin and bones and all this waste from the fish market, right? So now the industries were standing left with a huge bill to pay to get rid of all this waste in an eco-friendly way, or they could turn that big bill into money being made on this waste product. This is something we see happening again and again all over the industries when they are told to spend money on getting rid of their waste, right? They find a way to re-enter it into the market chain so that they can make money off of it, or at least go into neutral instead of spending money out of the pocket to get rid of this toxic waste. Fluoridation of the water supply. So understandably, the industry started to push research that proved these oils to be essential for brain development and heart healthy because of their low cholesterol content. Now, instead of spending millions of dollars getting rid of toxic waste, they had just made a new industry that made them millions of dollars. Very smart, but terrible for your health. So as mentioned, in the next video, I will dive into the specific physiologic effects of these PUFAs within your body. Getting rid of all the propaganda research heavily funded by the industries labeling these oils as heart healthy and essential for brain development. We will be getting into what these oil specific effects are in your physiology, why they are so terrible for your health, and the statistical evidence that supports the fact that these oils are a big reason for our rapid rise in degenerative and chronic diseases in our modern society. And so until next time, remember to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell so that you get notified when that next video comes out, and more important information and content on how you can optimize your health and not end up as one in the statistic with a degenerative or chronic disease, right? So until next time, love and chi.